Ozzy Osbourne has always been larger than life. People know him for his wild stage shows, crazy stories, and, of course, his legendary music. He's the kind of person you'd expect to have a huge, over-the-top funeral, full of family, friends, and fans saying their last goodbyes. But when the day finally came, something happened that nobody saw coming. His own kids didn't show up. Fans everywhere were shocked. The Osbourne family has been in the spotlight for years. We've seen them argue and laugh on TV, and we've followed their ups and downs in magazines and online. So when Ozzy's wife Sharon showed up alone, looking heartbroken, everyone started asking, where are the kids? People wondered why Jack, Kelly, and Aimee, who grew up in front of the cameras, would miss such an important moment. It didn't take long for rumors to start flying. Some people said the family had been fighting behind the scenes. Others thought maybe there were problems nobody on the outside knew about. Over the years, the Osbournes have dealt with a lot: addiction, health scares, and the stress of always being watched. Maybe those things finally caught up with them. Maybe old arguments just never went away. Even with all the drama, a lot of people hoped that losing their dad would bring the kids together. Funerals are never easy, but they're usually a time when families put aside their differences and come together. But as the service went on, it became clear that wasn't going to happen this time. The empty seats where his children should have been made the whole thing even more heartbreaking. Afterward, the internet exploded with opinions. Some folks said the kids were wrong for not being there. Others thought maybe they just needed space to grieve in their own way. The truth is, nobody really knows what happens inside someone else's family. All we saw was the pain and confusion on Sharon's face, and it left everyone wondering what could have been so bad that Ozzy's own children missed his final goodbye. If you really want to understand why Ozzy's kids didn't show up at his funeral, you have to look at what's been happening in their lives for years. Sure, they're famous, but behind all the cameras, the Osbourne family has had their share of real struggles. Life in the spotlight can make everything harder, especially when it comes to family. Growing up as Ozzy's kids wasn't as fun as some people might think. Kelly has talked openly about her battles with addiction and mental health. She said more than once that having a dad like Ozzy wasn't always easy. Sometimes, it felt like he was never really there. Jack, on the other hand, spent years trying to figure out who he was, apart from his famous family. He's had his own struggles with addiction and health. And then there's Aimee, who hardly ever appears with the family at all. She chose to stay out of the public eye, wanting a quieter life away from all the chaos. It's no secret that the Osbournes have had some big fights over the years. Old arguments and hurt feelings didn't just disappear because the cameras turned off. Sharon always tried to hold the family together, but even she has admitted that it wasn't easy. Being famous means your problems are out there for everyone to see, and sometimes that just makes things worse. In recent years, Ozzy's health got worse, and that brought even more stress. There were hospital visits, cancelled shows, and a lot of worry about what would happen next. Sometimes it seemed like the family might patch things up, but then another problem would pop up. For his kids, maybe staying away from the funeral was their way of dealing with all that pain. Sometimes, when things get too hard, people just need to protect themselves, even if others don't understand. Every family has problems, but most people don't have to deal with them while the whole world is watching. For the Osbournes, grief and family issues played out in public, but the real pain, the kind that leads someone to miss their dad's funeral, happened behind closed doors, away from the cameras and headlines. Even after everything that happened, there's no question that Ozzy Osbourne left behind an incredible legacy. His music changed rock forever, and his personality made him one of the most unforgettable stars in the world. But beyond the music and the fame, the real story is what his family went through, and what we can all learn from it. A lot of fans were heartbroken to see Ozzy's kids missing from his funeral. It's one of those moments that makes you think about your own family and the things that matter most. The Osbournes have had more than their share of drama, but at the end of the day, they're still just people trying to figure things out, just like anyone else. Sometimes, healing old wounds takes a long time. Sometimes, it doesn't happen at all. Now that Ozzy is gone, maybe his family will find a way to move forward. Sharon, Jack, Kelly, and Aimee each have their own lives and their own struggles. But no matter what, they'll always be connected by the love and the memories they share, even if things didn't end the way fans hoped. Maybe, someday, they'll find a way to come together again. Fans everywhere are feeling the loss, not just of a rock legend, but of a family they watched grow up in front of the world. It's a reminder that nobody has a perfect life, no matter how famous they are. Families fight, people drift apart, and sometimes things don't work out the way we want. But there's always hope for something better down the road. At the end of the day, the story of Ozzy's funeral isn't just about who showed up. It's about love, loss, and all the complicated feelings that come with saying goodbye. Even when things get tough, there's always a chance for healing. And maybe that's the real message Ozzy leaves behind. Not just through his music, but through the messy, real life he lived with the people he loved.